I don't think you can find many guys in the league who provide more defensive energy than Hugo Gonzalez. And it's really a pick your poison because with Hugo, you're going to get a ton of energy, a ton of deflections, a ton of just creating loose balls and opportunities for other guys. But you're also going to get a ton of mistakes. And Sam Hauser is fairly mistake free, but he's not going to drive the car. So if you have somebody else out there who is your gambler on defense, he's probably the better guy to put next to them. Well, Hugo
He is the
he's the
gambler.
gambler,
Yeah.
which I don't know if you also feel this way, but we're a different team when Hugo, Jordan Walsh, and Josh Minot are on the floor. I noticed tonight that there were some minutes where all three of them were on the floor, and then a lot of minutes where none of them were on the floor. And I'm starting to have concerns about Joe's rotation, just because he seems to want to do an equal opportunity. You make a mistake, you get pulled. You play well, you stay in for each individual guy. When in past years, we've used these first few weeks of the season to figure out who plays well with who. And I would love to see a rotation where we always have one or two of those three guys on the floor, just so somebody is giving hustle, somebody is diving for balls, somebody's trying to knock it loose, and there's three or four other guys on the court who are staying home on shooters. This game, I saw a lot of Hauser, Garza, Simons minutes, which if I want shooting on the floor, I should have one or two of those guys out there. And if I want defense, I should have one or two of the defensive guys out there. But switching 3 for 3 just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that ultimately what is going to drive this team, and I don't know if this is just kind of our offensive strategy going into the season or us still kind of tinkering with it, but I do think the kinds of lineups that have worked for us in the past few years of let's get as many shooters as we can on the floor at all times just isn't going to be as effective because the shooters we have aren't the caliber that they used to be. And I think that we're seeing in those minutes that we have those hustle guys, those energy guys out there, that they can be effective while creating kind of different types of offense. Frequently, that kind of push the pace, frenetic energy, creating turnovers, second chance. Again, Jordan Walsh got some offensive rebounds tonight that I thought were great. And so I think being more willing to mix in that type of offense as opposed to kind of a steady diet of we're going to try and get as many shooters out there and go to like a typical screen, drive, kick, shoot kind of offense that we just might not have the pieces for necessarily this year. And so moving them, rotating them in chunks, I don't think is going to be super helpful. I would also love for one of those three guys, the Ugo, the Minot, the Walsh, to be on the floor at all times. And I think that's a testament, honestly, a huge testament. And you look at his minutes tonight, Jordan Walsh kind of came out of nowhere and has inserted himself as like, we want that guy to be getting minutes every game. And it seemed like he might have been like a fringe on the edge of that rotation of like, we didn't see any minutes from Shireman tonight. And Jordan Walsh, I think just through energy and defense has kind of forced himself into that conversation of like, no, we want to see what this guy is capable of, especially because he's young. He's got tremendous like athletic and physical upside, and he just the way how hard he plays. And I think that's an interesting kind of comparison is like Shireman not getting minutes despite being more probably comfortable with the ball in his hands and as a shooter than Walsh. But Walsh just outplayed him for minutes, it seems like, at least in this game. And so that is a moment where it's like, okay, we're giving up some shooting, we're giving up a little bit of playmaking for someone who just is able to create opportunities for us on both ends. And so I'm curious to see moving forward how much that is a priority in terms of keeping those guys out there who create opportunities.